This episode of Speakers of Hydaelyn is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Circa Barakeel, Remy Asalia, Saray Cypher, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Arcadia Lunashine, Nina Grimsdaughter, Casey Schaefer, Daimos, Sasirful Alirafu, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Asuta Starbreeze, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Sayuri Snowfall, Lukile and Gyorgy, Stella Bell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arino, Celeste Razgris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Fabs and Voidworm, Raimi Maverick, Code Red No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Babe Arbale, Kaisa Regina, Usora Akari, and AJ Brainswordson. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Hydaelyn.
Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 201. I am Lukile Bravestone. It has been a rough start of this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you wouldn't know, but this is episode 201. I am Lukile Bravestone, and I'm joined by Gyorgy Wiston. And that's all. Welcome to the episode.
Hello.
we did it. We made it to the screen, so we can actually do the show now. Welcome everyone. It is June 27th, 2020. There is not a lot happening in the community. I feel like I've been saying that for the last 10 episodes. But
month? Oh well, 10 episodes. Okay, that's a bit more.
I'm exaggerating. Today's main topics: live letter speculations. We'll talk about something relating to the live letter that is coming up. Letter from the producer is what it is. We'll also read MogMail today. So we'll try to answer your questions there. Stay tuned for the post-show, which is going to be shorter than usual because of the late start of this episode. We'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. That's that. What have you done? What have we done in 14 this week? Who should I start with this week? Gyorgy, what have you done in 14 this week?
What have I done in 14 this week? The same thing I do every week in 14. I grind Moogle terms and I level my Gunbreaker and my Dragoon.
I've been leveling my Warrior?
No, Dragoon is what you do. I'm leveling my Samurai.
Yes.
I'm getting confused.
Sorry, I'm leveling Dark Knight. I'm done with Warrior. Whatever. Leveling tomes. That's it. I wish there was more to say, but that is it. Let's jump into recent events. Dragon Quest returns to Eorzea.
Yay!
It is one of the first crossover events this game ever had. It's so old, in fact, that they still did the Mithril Eye articles, which is sort of like a holdover from 1.0. We've talked about this before, how I missed this. Now you just get like 2 lines of text.
If you get that.
Yeah, if you get that. Yeah, you can get the Thug's Mug, the Wind Up Brickman, and King Slime Crown. If you are a Vieira, however,
which is the only reason to do this event.
yes. If you are a Vieira, however, you are probably very unlikely to be able to wear the King Slime, or Hrothgar. You'll be unlikely to wear the King Slime crown. I don't know about the Thug Mug, because that's like covering the whole head. So maybe.
I suspect the Thug Mug will work because anything that replaces the whole head model tends to work.
Yeah. So you can purchase the King Slime crown during this event by speaking to Tuffy with the Tuffy in Ul'dah, Steppes of Nald. This event will start on July 2nd and last until July 27th. Important date maybe for what we're about to talk about maybe later. Should we talk about that now? Because we're gonna talk about the live letter or letter from the producer later. So keep that date. Keep that date. Huh? What? You want us to talk about now?
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about the date later.
Doesn't it make more sense that we talk about it during the letter?
Sure.
Okay. Right. remember that date. We have more COVID news because I know you all love to hear about that. COVID-19 update. There's a temporary closure. There's an update to the temporary closure of customer support from June 22nd. They provide this following update. We are pleased to report that the in-game Game Master service is available once more. Our next focus is on restoring live support via the support center. So there you go. GMs back. You can complain to your heart's content.
I did not realize they weren't there.
I believe they said when they shut down support that they were like, yeah, Game Masters as well will be gone. I think so. I think we even covered it, I think.
Did Game Masters have to work in office? I would have thought they'd be able to work from home.
No, they work in office. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Right. In other news, Square Enix unveiled their own Pride mascot a couple of days ago. Well, here is the mascot designed by Toshiyuki Itahana. This is so. I'll read the statement that came with this. Square Enix introduces Pride mascot. Each year, the LGBTQ plus community and people all over the world celebrate Pride during the month of June. In years past, our employees have marched alongside others in support of intersectional equality, dignity, and inclusion. This year, with parades and celebrations sidelined due to the coronavirus pandemic, we wanted to do something special to honor the LGBTQ plus community and show our support. We'd like you to meet our new Pride mascot. This charming new character was designed by legendary artist Toshiyuki Itahana. Square Enix fans will recognize Itahana's beautiful art style from games such as Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the Chocobo's dungeon titles, as well as illustrations for the Final Fantasy trading card game, and much more. According to Itahana, this mascot is meant to be more than just a colorful character. Quote, the character represents diversity. God, I can't read either. Represents diversity and freedom, with its multitude of colors being the diversity aspect and the trainers and wings that allow it to travel anywhere, symbolizing freedom. I designed this character hoping that the world can become even more free and diverse in the future. We hope you'll embrace our new Pride mascot together with us and what it represents. If you'd like, we've created an avatar or whatever. You can download an avatar that you can update your social media profile with. Whew.
Can you tell me what it is?
It's actually, I don't know. I was thinking it was some sort of bird, but it's got like a furry beak. So I don't know if that's. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a creature.
Just a creature.
This fade.
It reminds me of Summer Olympic mascots in the very vague and non-distinct way that it is a something.
Yes. Yeah. It's cute.
I like it.
Mm.
I want it as a minion.
Make it a minion. Yoshi P. All
Because
right.
to be honest, I have difficulty imagining it in a 3D space.
Yes, same.
It doesn't. It doesn't have a name, as far as I'm aware.
No.
I feel as if it needs a name. I hope they give it a name.
It's just Pride. It's just called Pride. So there it is. That's the mascot. Cute, cool, fun. Next, Square Enix will announce new games in July and August. The company held a stockholders meeting on June 24th, and when asked about how the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has affected plans to announce new games, Square Enix representative said new games were originally to be announced at the now cancelled E3. According to a Gematsu translation of No Investment, No Life Story. We had planned to have a press conference as a replacement event, but were unable to do so since assets were not complete. We'll be announcing new titles individually as timing permits. Several will debut around July to August. So, new games coming. I'm assuming one of them will be 7 Remake Part 2?
I think that is likely. I think that is...
Yeah, they kind of have to announce it soon-ish, because it's going to be a PS5 title, surely.
Yeah, but do they have to announce it? Because people know it's coming.
That's true, but they have to, like, keep the hype going, I guess.
That's true.
The game's been out for a while.
I mean, yeah. It's been out, like, only 4 months, though. Do they need to announce the next part that soon after?
It depends. I don't know. They have already released some information. Motion capture, for instance, is currently being done for the game for part 2.
Yeah.
So they're already dripping news about part 2. So it's already like a thing that they're clearly planning to start promoting soon. So I mean, think about when they promoted part 1. That was like 4 years before it came out. Any other games we're expecting? They've already announced Kingdom Hearts, the rhythm game.
Melody of Memories.
Yep.
Memory.
Yep.
Do you think we'll see more, or do you think that's it for now?
I feel like that trailer was pretty... I think that will hold for a while. That was showed off quite a lot. I mean, the only thing they can show off are, like, new songs, I guess, that are included. There's quite a lot of them.
They could show us Sora not in his Kingdom Hearts 1 outfit.
Yes. Are you surprised by the Kairi cutscene at the end of that trailer?
Define surprise.
It feels out of place. It looks like a continuation of Kingdom Hearts 3, and you're like,
It definitely is.
Yeah, just at the end of that rhythm game.
It is what I expect of Nomura.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. That's true. It's just that you're playing this rhythm game in, like, the Kingdom Hearts 2 engine, and then all of a sudden Kingdom Hearts 3 quality cutscenes.
It's generous to call it the Kingdom Hearts 2 engine.
Well, I mean, their character models, at least. Their character models might even be from 1. I don't really know. It looks really...
They are.
It looks old.
It uses his outfit from 1.
Yeah. But the graphics look like the PS2 graphics.
Well, they're both on the PS2.
Yeah. Yeah, but they updated the engine between games.
Are you saying it doesn't look like
It doesn't look like a 2020 game. Is what I'm trying to... It looks like a game from 2005.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely agree with that. You're saying it doesn't look like the 1.5 or 2.5 models.
Yes.
You're saying it looks worse than that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well,
do you think we'll say 16?
I didn't want to say it, but I kind of want to. But I don't know. Will they?
I don't know. There's rumors about it. People were expecting it at the PS5 reveal thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope they show 16. I don't know. I'm never ready for a new like mainline game. But sure, they have to show it. So they've already shown artwork and shit. We know it's in the works. So
How many years ago did 15 come out now? First?
did it come out in 15?
2015? Is it really that old? Don't say that.
4
It's
years?
been 4 years.
Yeah, so
So
16.
2016?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds less awful in terms of how long ago it was.
Let's see, Final Fantasy. Yeah, came out November 29th, 2016. So, yeah. 4 years.
Okay.
No, sorry. So
Then
it's
when
been 4
did
years.
13 come out before then? It was like 2011, 2012?
That was a PS3, Xbox 360 game. Came out in No, that's 12. I was about to lose my shit. 2009. It's older than 14.
13?
Yeah. It's 11 years old.
Isn't it crazy that there was one Final Fantasy game per generation for the PS3 and the PS4,
Yeah. Yeah.
excluding online games?
Yeah, they slowed down a bit. Well,
A bit.
I mean 14 probably had something to say about it. I had something to do with it, but yeah, it has been slower. And now that they have the 7 remake work on as well, it's just going to stay slow. So that's why I'm not sure if it's time to show 16 yet, but I guess we'll see. I'm excited if they do. I just don't feel like, I don't know. It's hard. It's weird to think that there's another Final Fantasy game coming out that we have to.
It's weird. It's weird to get excited for another Final Fantasy game without any information about it, because Final Fantasy is such like a nebulous idea.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think we'll see any more Project Athia?
No. I think this is a game that is very much not ready for anything. Like it's probably what we saw on the what was that again? Which event did we see the Athia?
PS5 event.
The PS5 event looked more like just concept stuff than actual game. So this is probably going to take like 5 or 6 years to finish, or even get like anything close to like a playable game.
6 years.
This looks like one of those. Every now and then, Square Enix has like this massive game that they just show some teaser shit of, and it gets people hyped, and then it takes forever to make it. And then when it comes out, it looks completely different to its concept.
I mean, I don't disagree, but that like sounds like the end of the next console generation that isn't even out yet.
Well, maybe it'll definitely not be in the next year or two. It is not. It is nowhere near that. So
I agree with that. I definitely do not see
3 to 5 years probably before we see anything resembling, or at least the release date. I mean, its title is still the project name.
Hey,
don't even bring up
Project
Octopath. Weirdest decision I've ever seen, but
Octopath is a weird word.
It is, yeah.
It's not a word that feels good on your mouth.
No. Octopath Traveler. How long did it take for that to be made? That's irrelevant. Now I'm just Googling how long it takes to make games.
I also think Octopath had a relatively quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's not exactly like Project Athia.
A Switch game.
Yeah.
Other than that, if Rollo was here, he'd probably talk about Bravely Default 2. Can't really speak to that.
No.
And do you think we'll hear anything about Babylon's Fall?
What?
You seem to not know what I'm talking about.
Which game was that? What did you call it?
Babylon's Fall. I
Oh,
believe is
Babylon's.
called?
Yeah, I remember I remember the trailer. Did they? Oh, did they abandon that?
It's technically it's backed by it's produced by Square Enix, but it's technically a Platinum Games title. So.
Oh yeah, it's very strange because that one's definitely been in the works for a while. I remember that
I'm
being
pretty sure-
shown during E3 at some point.
Yeah, it was.
Some
It was
year.
during the E3 presentation. Was it? I want to say it surely wasn't last year. I feel as like it was longer ago.
Yeah,
I want
it
to say
must
it was
have been.
2018.
Yeah,
Well, I just wanted to bring it up.
2018.
As the yearly reference to Babylon's Fall. Maybe one day we'll see more about it.
Yeah. Right. So we'll see what they have to show us. July and August.
They say several titles, so assumedly it's at least 3.
Yes.
2 wouldn't be lying, but it'd be so weird to say several titles and then release like one in July and then one in August.
Yeah. All right, let's talk live. Producer, what is it called? A letter from the producer. We are getting a letter from the producer this following week. So next week, if you're watching on YouTube, the week has started. It might even have been posted. We don't know when it will be posted this week. So one of the things that is going to be revealed in that letter is the release date of patch 5.3. And I cannot believe I'm saying 5.3 because I feel like we should be further at this point. We should, technically. We should be on 5.3 now. We should be like almost start speculating about 5.35.
Yeah.
But yes, one of the things that we talked about in the beginning of this episode is the return of the Dragon Quest event, and its end date is July 27th. July 27th is that a Monday?
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday, which means there is, of course, a Tuesday coming right after it, which is when Square Enix likes to do their big patches. Tuesday is patch day, especially big patches.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to wait until July 28th?
Sincerely, hope not.
Uh,
Sincerely hope that is not the case, but I genuinely fear that it will be.
Yeah, because every time they say mid to late month, it is almost always late, and they go for the latest they can get. So 28th sounds like the latest they can get, and it is quite likely that that's when the patch comes out. Because it's weird if they have the event, which isn't like you said. Because I've said my counter to that was we've had events leak into patches before, but those have been seasonal events.
Yeah.
This isn't. This is a This is a crossover event. So
They can organize this whenever they want.
Yes. That means we have a month left to wait. From starting today, actually, because tomorrow. Today's the 27th. So, well, I mean, we've waited this long. We can wait long. What is another month?
Don't say that.
Hey, why don't you wait until August 28th? We can wait. What is 2 months? We've waited this long.
What I'm wondering is where is Make It Rain?
Yeah, this could have been perfect. Well, maybe actually, when they release the letter, they'll be like, Make It Rain starts until 5.3. Because if we have to wait a month, and a seasonal event is usually like 4 weeks or 3, 2.
No,
It's
they're
shorter.
normally-
It's like 2 weeks.
They're normally 2 to 3.
Yeah. So that
With
would
the-
work.
Now that they've been like segmenting them, they tend to be 3 weeks.
Yeah. So that could make sense if they start Make It Rain up until the patch. Or even, because it's a seasonal event technically, it can leak into 5.3.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
When is the Rising?
Oh, that's around August, September.
Okay.
Is it like it's like
it
beginning of
September?
autumn? I think it's like early autumn, late summer. Ish.
Late August seems to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're running out of time to both to have the Make It Rain event, the Moonfire Fair, and then the Rising.
Yeah, but remember, Moonfire Fair literally just collides with the
Yeah,
Rising
yeah,
event. So yeah,
But normally there's more of a gap between the Make It Rain and Moonfire Fair. That's what
yeah, that's
concerns
true.
me a little
That's
bit.
true. Well, things are different now, so I'm sure they're gonna have to just figure that out. Also, why are we only getting a letter from the producer and not a live letter?
That's weird to me because we got a live letter recently.
Yes, we did. What is it that's preventing a live letter now? Is it because it's just bad news? Is it like because Yoshi P doesn't want to like present like shitty news? It's like, oh, we're so sorry. First of all, patch will be out the first week of August, and we had to cut the patch in half because we couldn't finish it all in time. So you'll get patch 5.31 part 1 today. Sorry, first week of August, and part 2 mid to late September.
Okay, so chat is saying that there will be a live letter as usual as well.
The next producer live letter will be scheduled next month. This is from the live translation. Sorry, the Reddit translation. The next producer live letter will be scheduled next month. He will also report on the development situation. The remaining patch 5.3 info will be announced there. Well, yes, live letter is coming after the producer letter.
Okay,
Letter from the producer.
good.
Yeah, good. Yay.
What do you think is going to be in the letter from the producer then? Why do you think? What do
All
you
the
think
bad
they can
news.
announce other?
All the bad news is in the letter from the producer, and then he can shine during the live letter with all the good
What
news.
bad news do you think there is then?
Further delays on all the other future patches.
I don't like that one.
Because the chain has been pushed so far back because of the situation. All patches are now indefinitely late. They're all delayed. They will all be like a month extra. So we will be looking at a patch cycle that is 4 to 5 months.
That sounds like suffering.
Yeah.
I'd really, don't put that out into the universe.
I'm saying this so that I'm hopefully I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong. So
I hope
don't
you're
blame
wrong
me
too.
if this is correct. If this actually happens. Yeah, no, well, there's the release date of the patch. Like you said, I think he just wants it out as soon as possible.
Do you suspect that they will talk about fan fests during this letter from the producer?
They might, yes. They might. Because things are happening in Europe again, which I expected. Cities are locking down again. So, I don't know. They might talk about that there's still uncertainty about the European Fan Fest. But we'll yeah. Maybe that is definitely something they might talk about. They might also talk about if there is an event like Make It Rain coming up. They won't have time for the live letter to, like, the live letter might be so far ahead in time that they won't have time to announce it before it's
That's true.
started.
Chat brings up an excellent point. Hosts the fan fest in New Zealand. They have like 1 case left.
That's true. Yeah.
Then I'll actually have an excuse to go to New Zealand.
Well, and then we will just bring it back to New Zealand. Someone's going to bring it. It'll be a super spreader situation.
You'll all be quarantined for 2 weeks. 'Cause that's what we do.
Sounds like fun.
You just need to get there 2 weeks beforehand.
Well, you just straight up can't get in here, so you can't really. Well, you can go to Sweden. Let's go to Sweden.
I don't really want to. It's, unreliable.
Right. Well. Let's. So the letter from the producer will have the date. It will have probably updates about... No, fuck, because he said that they would do that in the live letter about the development situation, but probably will in the letter from the producer as well, I guess.
Yeah, they have to.
And then they'll probably talk about the Make It Rain event. Or some event shit. Maybe FanFest? I think that's maybe what they'll talk about, and then they'll save all the good shit for the actual live letter, like showing off the.
We'll get screenshots. Which pieces of content do you think we'll get screenshots from, if any?
In the letter or in the live letter?
In the letter.
I don't know if we're gonna get screenshots, because why would they show off shit that they can show in the live letter?
I mean, the thing is, live letters are weird in that they reveal all this content, and then we end up focusing on one often meaningless piece of content for the majority of the live letter. So maybe this will be their opportunity to show off more of the dungeon or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, it will be a Yoshi P forum post, because that's what the producer live letters are. No! Letter from the producers are. They are literally just forum posts, but they're called letters from the producer.
They're like official and stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, maybe they'll reveal the minion farms, in the letter. But also,
I would like to see that on the live letter.
Well, to be fair, even if it's mentioned in the letter from the producer, they might still show it at the live letter. It's not like having it mentioned in the letter will exclude it from they can go more in depth in the live letter. So maybe they'll just tell us, like, give us some screenshots of something, and then in the live letter they'll be like, okay, let's look closer at minion farms. There's Unreal, the Unreal difficulty or whatever it's called, that shit.
The thing is, I don't know if there's not much in the Unreal trials that there is to show visually that will be that different from what we already have seen. They're not adding new mechanics. They're just like rebalancing it for like modern eye level.
Yeah, that's true. See, I can't predict this letter because this is very unusual. So I don't know what we have in store here.
Yes, that's true. Chat. There is the Hollows mini game that we still don't understand what that is.
The faux Hollows. Yeah.
Yeah, the faux Hollows.
Yeah.
What is this? Why is this? I just have no idea what it is.
No, they didn't even give us a clue.
The entire discussion about it in the last live letter was about the Unreal trial, and then saying, "Oh yeah, there's a mini game afterwards." Then don't do that. What is this mini game?
Yeah,
this game doesn't have mini games.
Yeah, I don't know. Very strange. But hey, we'll know soonish. Oh, and also, obviously, the letter from the producer will probably have the live letter date in it.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
I love announcements of announcements.
Well, there you go. I hope there's a lot in that letter from the producer, because God, are we in a content drought unlike anything we've ever been in before. I'd like to bring up the fucking Heavensward drought and the 4.4 to 4.5 Stormblood drought.
4.3 to
4.3, 4.4. This is worse. It's actually worse.
Oh, this is unimaginably worse.
Yeah, this is definitely worse. So yeah,
4.35 had Eureka.
yes,
Pagos, but
and
still.
I can't believe that's something we're saying. But at least it was content. We could suffer, but we would at least have something to do.
No.
It's I've actually contemplated starting a Eureka relic from scratch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how desperate I am. But hey, it'll be easy for me because I don't have to level.
That's true.
I guess is a plus, but still.
Leveling is the cold take. Leveling is the worst part about Eureka.
Yeah, that's true. But I do miss. What I'm missing is that feeling you had when you were in Eureka. Like everyone was like, we're all in this boat together. Like we're all suffering together. I like that, and the shout chat and the little like the factions that formed in Eureka, the people that absolutely hated Eureka but were still there for some reason, and the people that would white knight everything about Eureka. There would be little wars in chat. It was quite fun, and also the guy that we had like one guy on Chaos that would always run to the fates and start them so that the walkers wouldn't make it there in time. Oh, what a time it was. Right. It's so interesting to think about the fact that the people that hated Eureka wanted what we have now for relics.
Well, they wanted what we had now, but they wanted a grind.
Yeah, I think they just it was too easy. It was too easy. All you need is poetics. They should have had poetics plus something else that would drop from a dungeon or something.
You don't even need poetics for your first one.
Oh yeah, you just get it. That's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is. I mean, I am saying that this is what this is what Rollo wanted. This is like what people like Rollo wanted. They wanted to have the relic handed to them.
This is what Rollo wanted.
Yeah.
This is not what I was asking for.
Yeah. So thank Rollo for this, everyone. The reason you can't grind for a new relic right now is because of people like Rollo. I love how we're kicking on Rollo because he's not here now, so we can do that. All right. Well, hang in there, everyone. Content will be coming soon. We have.
It is around the corner.
Yeah. A letter from the producer this week, and a live letter hopefully a week or two after that. So, and then patch a week or two after that, maybe a week after that. A week after that, yeah, because the live letter is usually a week before the patch nowadays. So, yeah,
it's a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Next week, let's just review the Dragon Quest event as if it was never released in the past, and then just like have people think that like we don't know that it's been released before.
Actually, we could do that because I don't think Speakers of Hydaelyn existed when this Fate came out. So Speakers have never canonically reviewed this event.
Okay.
Stay tuned next week for an exciting review of the Dragon Quest event. All right. Okay, that's the letter from the producer. I think it's time for MogMail. Let's look at some of your MogMail. Here we go. This is from Kunal Raha. Okay. This is from Kunal Raha from Brynhilder. Hello, speakers. With the discussion of the current story arc ending, I began thinking of different ways the game could continue afterwards. With the discussion of the current story arc ending, I began thinking of different ways the game could continue afterwards. Originally, I thought it would be interesting if the Warrior of Light dies, saving the universe, and you're forced to create a new character to continue with. Since killing the player character is basically impossible, I consider the possibility of anthology stories, where each arc is tied to a specific character. For example, when creating a character, you could select to play through the Hydaelyn arc, or the new arc, and that character would be locked to that MSQ. This would allow stories to end concisely, but still potentially last multiple expansion and prevent uncontrollable power creep. I know this is a far-fetched idea since the game is already built around doing everything on one character, but it could be an interesting discussion. Would any of you continue playing if something like this happened?
Talking about uncontrollable power creep just reminds me of how they've talked about stat squish for the next expansion.
Yes. Yeah. I killing your character that you've spent years on.
I have been long on the argument that our character should die at the end of the story, but I don't know if it should end before the MMO ends.
No, yeah, that is weird. Yeah, having them die at the actual end of the story, like when the game ends. Yeah, that would be all right. Yeah, but having like, oh yeah, you're done with the Hydaelyn Zodiac arc. Your character is dead. Please create a new character for the New World expansion. I would feel really shitty doing that. I don't like that. Why couldn't my original character travel to the New World?
It'd feel very, very strange.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea. I just don't think it would work in like with the way 14 works, where you're very it's very character focused. Like your characters, I don't know.
Would you have to level everything again? Because that would be unpleasant.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah. Maybe there'll be like a stats transfer. Like when you die, you're like, okay, I want to create a new character, and then they just transfer your everything over to the new one.
Would there be a lore explanation for it, or would it just be like magic? Unexplained magic.
I mean, I guess it depends on how the story begins. Maybe you're just a guy that walks into the new world and you're like, hey, I'm cool. I have every class at 80. I come from Eorzea. I don't know. I would not like this. I would like my character to be able to participate in all the expansions of this game. And then potentially die at the end of the game story. Fair enough. The world just fucking gets ripped to shreds. That's fine.
Well, the game doesn't have to end. Just like have the end story like cutscene, and then like anything that take place after that is just like it rewinds you briefly to just before that. In this like 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 a lot of games do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Kunal, for that question.
It's an interesting idea, but I don't think it would work.
No. Next, MogMail. That's the same one. This one's from Ruby Nerl. Shiva. Hello, speakers. Thank you for your podcasts. I really enjoy the show and lore discussions. In the previous episode, you considered Hydaelyn's location and suggested that she might be stacked in the Silvertear Lake. She might be stacked. I found this theory especially tasty because of Midgard's Ormer, who, despite his neglect of people and their wars, sacrificed his and the life of some of his loyal dragons to save the lake. Why would he do that? And as far as we know, he is in some kind of deal with her, if I recall correctly. Also, why the same lake? Why is the same lake in the first called the Source? Thank you so much for your attention. Stay safe. Yes, I feel like we've kind of talked about this before. That Midgard's Ormer, that the story of Midgard's Ormer's connection to the Silvertear Lake was kind of changed a little after 1.0, because I think he was going to play a bigger part in 1.0's like something's underneath Silvertear storyline. So some of this we can probably ignore. Like I don't think he's especially. Well, I actually don't know, because there's a lot we don't know about Midgard's Ormer still, about his like actual connection to Silvertear Lake, other than he was just protecting his territory when the Garleans invaded. Died, and then came back as a tiny
I think it's more
minion.
than him defending his territory because he does have the pact with Hydaelyn.
That's true, and that is sort of the basis for a theory, I guess, is that if this really, because Mordona is where is it anymore after they crashed into it? The layers between the... Actually, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm thinking as I'm talking. But I just realized that Mordona had a very thin crust. Which is why when Agrius crashed into it and exploded, it released all the ether. Does that mean that you can tap into the ethereal sea from there?
It's possible.
Because
It's possible it has a
Yeah.
closer relation to the ethereal sea and similar to the anti-tower.
Yeah. So maybe the Agrius is like touching like into... Because Agrius goes quite far into the crust. So maybe he's just like tapped in to the
Are
ethereal
you
sea.
suggesting we'll get a return to the Keeper of the Lake at some point? Except instead of going up, we'll go down?
Ooh, that would be quite interesting, actually. Maybe that's how we get to the ethereal sea, not through the anti-tower, but through the Agrius. Maybe there's a reason we can fly Mordona soon.
I feel as if there's no more explanation for why we're going to be able to fly in Realm Ruin Zone soon.
No. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
I've never really been able to reconcile the fact that Midgard-Sormer is an alien and the fact that Hydaelyn split the planet into 14 shards.
The Midgard-Sormer being an alien is perhaps one of my least favorite things they've done in this game, because it's like they didn't think about the can of worms they opened with that. Like, because now we have the concept of aliens, we have the concept of intelligent life around us in space, but now Hydaelyn split the planet into shards, but the shards are dimensions. So is Midgardsormer from our dimension? And if so, is there a version of Midgardsormer? Well, is he or is he not? Where is he from?
Yeah.
What shard is Midgardsormer from?
Can Midgardsormer travel dimensions? Assumedly Omega can.
Yeah. See, this is why I don't like that. I don't like that idea.
Well, I think a lot of things that they've done have created a very confusing total lore. I don't even know how to describe it. Like the fact that we have time travel, we have interdimensional travel, we have intergalactic travel, and these are all supposed to exist within the same world.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know how I can account for all of them.
Why couldn't the dragons just be from our world? Why did they have to come from space? Is my question. Like, it's a big world, it's a fantasy world. Why would and then people will go, it's a fantasy world, they can come from space. Yeah, I get it. But that's more like, that's all right. Dragon travels space, flies around in space. It's just, when you think about it, like space dragons, like you feel like they were like having a meeting and they're like, all right, let's do something cool about this dead dragon around Agrius. And someone just goes, alien. And everyone's like, fuck.
I sort of agree with you. But ice dragons is like a more common concept than you think. I've seen it like a number of times.
It is not uncommon. It's not something I've not heard of, but it just didn't really fit with 14 when it was announced. When When
did we find out they were aliens? Was it with the Omega storyline, or was it in Heavensward? I genuinely don't remember at what point we found out they were aliens.
Heavensward. Right? No,
Omega
was it
story.
Omega? Okay, that's when they decided, let's make them aliens.
Okay. I think that might have been to account for the fact that Midgardsormer and Omega are supposed to be enemies, and like the fact that they want to include Omega.
Mm. I'm sure we're gonna get some comments about some NPCs that you talk to in A Realm Reborn during a blacksmith quest that tells you that gives you an indication that Midgardsormr is an alien. But sure. Yeah. Why are we talking about
And
this?
like,
oh,
well,
yeah, right.
I want to talk about the fact that how did Midgardsormr get to our specific shard? When did Midgardsormr arrive here?
I don't know.
And if he left the localized area of the Sundering around our planet, could he just leave and then come back and then arrive in a different shard? Like, how localized is the Sundering?
I don't know. I don't know, and it makes me angry. But I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm sure there's an explanation somewhere.
I don't know if there is, because Koji Fox has said in the past, or Koji Fox or Bunny Order, someone has said, don't think about it too hard.
Right, that's true. That's true. Which is basically them saying we can't resolve this properly, so just ignore it for now.
Yeah, they've said that it's essentially not going to be relevant moving forward, but I can't ignore it.
Do you think that they might have locked Midgardsormr away now because of that? Like they can't touch Midgardsormr anymore? That is sad. That is a little sad. But sure. Yeah. There's also the mystery of the lake in Lakeland, which is supposed to be Silvertier in just on the first, and it's called the Source. So I don't know. There is. I wonder. We've talked about this before, but I feel like maybe it might just be a reference to what would have been in 1.0 with the thing underneath Silvertier. Because as far as go on.
The Hero's Gauntlet looks like it's in Lakeland.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it will provide an answer to why the Source is called what it is?
Oh, yeah, because we might get some Lakeland lore. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. I want to know more about the origin of the name. Because it's called the Source, and we're on the Source. And then, but the Source could also just literally mean like it's a water source. It might be as simple as that, I guess.
It could be. It could just be like something they wanted to make a reference about, but not have any deep meaning behind it.
Yeah, because as far as I know, there is nothing under Silvertier canonically in A Realm Reborn. So they abandoned the Silvertier thing. I think that was a retcon, wasn't it? Or maybe, you know what? Sometimes they're very clever because they're kind of retconning it. But they're retconning it by not talking about it, so that maybe in the future they can pick it back up. There is something under Silvertier. Did you all forget?
Yeah, I feel as if they're gonna use that as a plot thread to pick up as like the sound that came from the center of the earth that caused the Immortines to start destroying themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that's one of the storylines I want them to pick back up, because that was creepy. And maybe we will see that. Okay. Thank you, Ruby. Hopefully we answered your question. I feel like we went on a bit of we derailed a little, but next question. This is long. Nora Silverborn, Cactuar. Sorry, I couldn't fit it on the screen. All right, I will just read. Hello, speakers. I love the show. It's my primary source of game lore discussion and news. Sorry for the long post ahead. Well, I'm sorry about the episode you're watching, and I'm sorry about the episode your MogMail was featured in. So I have a question about the elementals and how they fit in the Hydaelyn Zodiac world dynamic. They're never really talked about and seem to almost exist outside of the whole HZ equation. Oh, Hydaelyn Zodiac. Despite being akin to a sentient force of nature and their implied power. So I'd be incredibly interested in hearing a discussion on how they actually do fit into the picture. And I have a couple of thoughts and theories as well, just to get started. So what we know about them is that they are sentient beings that exist bridging the gap between the physical and etheric realms. For example, the life stream. They are seemingly a part of the natural order of things and operate as a kind of guarding/balancing force. Yet it is never discussed/theorized in-game how they came to be, and given what we now know, I keep wondering if they are beings that existed before the Sundering and truly are a part of the very basis of the life stream and the physical world, or if they are beings that sprung up after the Sundering. If after, I wonder how they differ from beings like the Pixies, who have a very concrete origin that deals with the soul. If before, I again wonder at their role as a force of nature/guardian, and I question whether they were originally the ones responsible for the calamity that Zodiark was created to avert. Perhaps they enacted a form of proto-Greenwrath on the Amoritines as a result of their wanton use of creation magics that was disrupting the natural order of things. Perhaps the Greenwrath and their current manifestations are a result of their limitations in exerting influence over the star and its fractured existence. Again, for being seemingly powerful enough to pull souls out of the life stream, like a certain someone we know, creating an entire race of people expressly to communicate better with us, etc., they are seemingly never mentioned and just there. Why? I know they've been weakened by the calamities, but we're talking about beings that literally forced an entire civilization underground for centuries, millennia, before they mucked about with the natural balance and pissed them off. Hell, you'd think that Mr. Balance himself, Elidibus, would have mentioned them before. Anyway, would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are on the matter and the perspective of someone who played 1.0 as well. Thank you, Nora. Well, that's interesting. The elementals are interesting because we know what they look like from 1.0, especially, and they
haven't been retconned.
If they haven't been retconned, which for now we can't really tell. They've done the clever thing again with the same thing with the thing under Silvertear. They're just not mentioning or showing them. But elementals used to look like what we now see Hydaelyn and Zodiark being represented as. So
yes,
if they are like ancient, like pre-sundering beings, it kind of... Actually, the more I think about it, the more interesting it becomes, because these are beings that are not like the Mughals, because Mughals came from somewhere. They're ancient beings technically, but they aren't that old. For as long as they've recorded history on Aldenard, the elementals have been in the forest.
Yes.
So what are they actually? Like we talk about the elementals are still canon and they are still operating. They're basically the same as in 1.0. They're the protectors of the woods. Yeah. They incur green wrath on people that trespass, and they literally turn Hyrs into communicators so that they can better communicate the Pajal. But why? Like, why are they? What are they?
That's a good question. So consider the fact that I have two theories about this. One is inspired by what Nora has just said. I'll talk about that one first.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it possible that since Hydaelyn and Zodiark were created by Amoritines and they look the way they do, is it possible that in the process of the Sundering that maybe the summoners of Hydaelyn ended up becoming the elementals, and this is their means of communicating?
Wait, what of Hydaelyn? My headset keeps buzzing. Didn't hear what you said. What of Hydaelyn?
The summoners of Hydaelyn, the 12.
Summoners, all right. That would be interesting. Like the 12.
What? Not those two. I don't think the elementals are the 12. No. I think they are just the people that were involved in the summoning of Hydaelyn, and this is their main way of communicating at this point.
Yeah. Weird. They're very aggressive. Like, why are they only protecting the 12's wood? By the way, called the 12's wood.
That's the other problem I have with them, and it relates to my other theory. When do we know when the elemental? Do we have an approximate time at which the elementals came into being?
I'm gonna have to bring.
Did they exist?
Hold on.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure there is lore in the book about them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did they exist prior to the War of the Magi?
Oh. Fuck. Dead air. I'm pretty sure they've existed throughout all the eras.
But do we have evidence of that?
Don't know.
I believe they have. To answer chat, I believe they have retconned the book at some point, but I think mostly that's because of printing errors.
Yeah. Dragons, goblins. God. Her burden. It wouldn't be considered a burden, would it? No. Surely not. It is interesting that they protect something called the Twelves Wood if it is tied to Hydaelyn. Because that is... Why is it called the Twelves Wood?
That's another good question.
I regretted asking that the moment I did it.
Because I'm sorry to say I do not have the answer to that off the top of my head.
Don't give me... I don't need this. I need... Is there actually no lore on them?
It definitely is. I feel as if I read some.
I don't know if there is.
Maela's bringing up the Sanctum of the 12 in chat as well. Why does that exist? It was lost and then refound.
Yeah. The Twin Realms. Life and Ether. I can't find any traces of... I can't see... The Echo, 12, Hells and Heavens, Coins.
Coins!
Gods.
Okay, so how about this?
Mm-hmm.
Because the 12s was related to the 12, because it was a name, and with no other explanation as to why, because we don't have that information before us, the elementals, at the advent of the 7th Umbral era, decided that we need the 12 more than ever, and they revealed the Sanctum of the 12 to us.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah, because remember, they are actually capable of doing that. Yeah, they hid Amdapor.
Yes, and the only reason it was revealed to us is because of their weakening power.
Yeah. Possible, but why would they do that? Do they want us to worship the 12 more?
Maybe they think the 12 have the answer to what we need.
Yeah.
But why are they localized in the 12's wood?
Is there something in the 12's wood that...
Are these all lore things that were related to Gilmora that they're not going to touch upon anymore?
Possible. The elementals were very important in 1.0. During the 1.0 Patreon stream, we looked at the Conjurer quest line because we were looking for any references to Amdapor, and we were looking at the my favorite quest line, which of course is the Amber Scale Rock story, and they go to pretty extreme measures to protect the woods. Like they take a child from and turn him into this zombie almost, and I think he came into the forest with the dragon, and then the dragon attacked something that was chasing them. There were some wolves, and then they turned them into amber scale, which is really interesting that you're mentioning Gelmora, because that is the same defense mechanism that they used on the Gelmora ruins when the Tonberries. Well, this is a theory. This was obviously we never really knew what happened at the Gelmora ruins. But in 1.0, there are all these amber rocks in a circle around, like as if they've been moving towards something and then been stopped because they've been turned into amber scale. So yeah, maybe this is like a Gelmora thing that they've been like struggling to like deal with now that they're not going to do anything related to Gelmora.
Yeah, I think one of their answers was one of their solutions to the elemental problem was to say that they were weakened at the start of the 7th Umbral era, so they don't have to think about them anymore.
Yeah. Well, I might as well read the wiki. The elementals refer to spirits said to inhabit the land of Final Fantasy XIV. Their influence is strongest in the Black Shroud, where they were dominant for nearly all of the 6th Astral Era until the fall of Dalamud weakened them, and they didn't want to do the Gelmora storyline anymore. The city-state of Gridania is governed by Seed Seers, the Pajal, who were chosen to represent the will of the elementals. Many other conjurers can sometimes hear the voice of the elementals. Those who defy the elementals risk suffering the Green Wrath, a complete disintegration. Since the 7th Umbral Era, the elementals' influence was greatly weakened to the point that poachers, bandits, and travelers in the Shroud are no longer at risk of incurring wood sin. Elementals, when they choose to manifest, appear as fairy-like neon cherubs with colors corresponding to their elements. In 1.0, they were incredibly powerful, capable of disintegrating any mortal with the Green Wrath, and appeared as very high-level, 90-plus level creatures guarding certain places. Since 2.0, the elementals have largely withdrawn, with mostly docile sprites appearing throughout Eorzea now. Elementals have only been directly seen in the Conjurer class quests. After the end of the 5th Astral Era, so here's some backstory. After the end of the 5th Astral Era, the War of the Magi between Mach, Nim, and Amdapor began to escalate out of control. Amdapori mages crafted the art of white magic as a countermeasure against the black magic wielded by Mach's void mages, who even sent Diabolos to attack Amdapor itself. The elementals' rage against the abuse of magic reached a crescendo in the form of Ohasok, an unexpected spirit of her collective wrath. She was part of the original Conjurer storyline in 1.0. It unleashed a great flood to eliminate all offending parties. This ushered in the 6th Umbral Calamity, so they can literally create calamities as well, as Eorzea drowned with most of the Magi. Since then, the elementals maintained a tight lockdown on the use of white magic and kept Amdapor concealed. For centuries, no mortal could even live in the Twelves Wood. The kingdom of Gelmora had to remain underground. Only once Gelmoran conjurers could communicate with the elementals were they permitted to gradually migrate into the Black Shroud, leading to the founding of Gridania. Among the Hyur who live in the Black Shroud, some children are periodically chosen by the elementals. They are born as Pajal, possessing high attunement to the will of the elementals and remain eternally youthful. The Pajal are known as Seed Seers, who largely govern the city-state of Gridania, with the Elder Seed Seer acting as head of state. In the 6th Astral Era, the elementals had a fearsome reputation throughout Eorzea for what they do to those who bathed in woodsin. The knights of neighboring Ishgard knew well enough to tread carefully in the Black Shroud. Even dragons were not immune to elemental jurisdiction, as one became sealed in amber scale rock. Despite the danger of the Green Wrath, it did not completely deter all foreign invaders. The fanatical Ixal periodically raided for timber and other goods. Al Amigo sought to invade during the Autumn War, and the Magitech armies of Garlemald have not, whoopsie-daisy, have not hesitated to establish an outpost at Castermarians. This is such a good episode. When Dalamud fell at the beginning of the 7th Umbral Era and released the Primal imprisoned within, devastation to the realm severely weakened the elementals. Now, almost entirely withdrawn, the elementals seemingly can no longer enforce their law in the Twelveswood, leaving poachers and brigands more bold about operating in the forest.
Well, I have to say, it feels like they didn't necessarily have that much power in the 6th Astral Era as well, considering the Ixal, Alamigo, and Garlemald were all able to force their way into the Twelveswood.
Well, to be fair, they did attack the Ixal the elementals, but yeah, Alamigo and Gar. So I think those are just I wonder why they didn't do anything with those. But from what we were told in 1.0, they were scary. Like you had to go to was it Quarrymill to pledge?
It was Quarry Mill.
Yeah.
And then if they didn't like you, you had to leave.
Yeah.
That's why the refugees that are in Quarry Mill have to leave. What's wrong?
I had left the book on a button, and now the MogMail was full of letters. Okay. Anyways, they're very ancient. They were there during the 5th, and they were there
At the
probably
least the
before.
5th Astral Era.
Yeah.
There's so much about them that even before 2.0, I don't know how well I can reconcile their powers with what actually occurred in the story.
Yeah.
They just feel very amorphous and not completely thought out.
Yeah. Which is weird because they could have been. It feels like they've been set up for like a big explanation. Like, how can such powerful beings exist in the woods, and what are they? Who knows? Maybe we'll never know.
Why didn't they help stop Alamigo? Why did that all have to come down to Gridania to outwit them in the war?
Yes. Maybe the elementals wanted it to happen. Maybe they wanted them to get... No, because they love Gridanians. The elementals actually like Gridania because they have the pact. But
that's why they bless them with Kajal.
Yeah.
Do we know? Is there any real good explanations to why Kajal only are born to Hyers?
No. I believe that's just what they pick because, well, no. We know why. Because, well, a theory is when they first communed with the elementals, the conjurer that actually managed to establish contact was a Hyur. So the elementals just went, okay, this is these are the people that we can trust fully. And then they, I think that's why. Right. Hope. I mean, there was a lot of rambling there, but I think we got something out of it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Nora. It is also worth mentioning that they forced Gelmora to live underground. That is quite the power. And from the descriptions, the few descriptions we have of that, it was quite chaotic. Like people would just be dying, like around them, and they were like, "What the fuck's happening?" Like they kept getting attacked by something.
Yeah. I just don't. Why? How did the Garleans set up Baelsar's wall?
Were they like? Oh yeah, because it literally cuts through a part of the shroud.
Yes.
I don't know. Again, this is... So you have to remember that post 1.0 and post 1.18 or whatever, Yoshi P is in charge. So things are being retconned at this point. So like A Realm Reborn, the elementals are weak and we don't really care about them anymore. There's no fear of the elementals in the shroud at this point. So it might just... Don't think about it, I guess.
Wasn't there a castrum in the shroud in 1.0 though?
No.
Okay.
There was only a castrum in Mordona.
I'll accept your statements, 1.0 expert.
You couldn't even see the wall. There was no wall in the shroud either back in 1.0. Okay.
Still never explain Alamigo.
Yeah, the Autumn War was still canon in 1.0.
Yeah.
So... Or was it? There's some of this that is a kind of mixed, because I know the Alamigo storyline.
I feel as if the Autumn War is mentioned by Eric.
Yeah, but he's a monk.
You know,
he's the monk NPC. And
yeah, but remember, he was there in 1.0.
Yeah, but
he essentially exists the same between 1.0 and...
Yes, but that's the problem with Eric, is I think Eric was turned into the monk NPC, and that's when he started becoming the sage of knowledge. But that was post Yoshi P. So
Okay.
I can't remember. I would need to get a hold of just a completely vanilla 1.0 game, so I could like check everything that's just like the Tanaka 1.0. But it's so hard because things got patched so quickly. But yeah, well, let's just say that the Autumn War is probably canon. Alamigo was canon, so yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Nora. I think we need to wrap up this episode, so we can have some post show. I'm sorry about this episode. But thank you for watching. And hopefully, I know that next week's gonna be better. I think what happened was when Maela left, I thought that'll be easy because we've done this without a speaker before, but not thinking about the fact that Rollo won't even be here. So there's a 2-man. This overlay has not been used in a while. It has not been updated in a while. Also got a new sound card. Sound gets wonky. There's a lot that's happened behind the scenes. So next week we'll be back and it'll be better. I'm so sorry. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned if you're watching live. The post show is coming up. Also, yes, a part of the intro has been changed, but also that failed to render correctly. It's been a day. It's been a day. Hopefully the post show will be better. Thanks for watching, everyone. Follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/Speakers of Hydaelyn, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. And also remember to send us MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail. Yes, you have a question?
Fourth speaker candidates, have they got their emails yet, or will they get them soon?
They will get them soon. I've made it's all set up, so I will send them out probably today, actually, after the post show. I'll send, because all I need to do is like press send, but just, you know me, I need to double check.
Yeah.
All right, so look out for emails. They're coming. All right, see you on the post show if you're watching live. If not, maybe we'll see you tomorrow for Sunday Funday. I'm assuming we're just doing, I feel like Sea of Thieves is the Sunday game now for a while, but okay. We'll figure that out. Whatever we do tomorrow. Goodbye! Bye.